Hi, everybody. Karen Paolino is here with me today. I'm Joe Maldonado, and you know that. We're speaking from Griffin's Claw, the School of Practical Magic, and Karen May. Oh my gosh, welcome, 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 and thank you so much for being with us again.
So happy to be here. I love connecting in community and I love sharing. So it's just as much a joy for me.
And Karen and I were just talking about, oh my gosh. Well, can we just share what you read about the reviews about one of your books that you have out and tell us a little bit about that book?
So, I hardly ever go. I wrote The Everything Guide to Angels back in, I think it was 2008, I want to say. Maybe 10, not sure. So it's a distributed book nationally, and some of the books are international, and so they sell it on Amazon. And I decided, I'm going to look to see if there's any recent reviews, and then somebody posted a review, and it was a very different review. It was pretty much that she was actually, I think it's easier probably to just pull it up and read it to you, but it was one of those reviews that I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't. I'm so grateful that I just wrote the book. It came by, I had written another book, tried to publish it, and I didn't get anywhere, and I surrendered. And then the publisher came to me and asked me to write this book. So it was like, okay. And so the review said it's the Everything Guide to Angels, right? It's the guide I use in my angel certification class. And it's a very simple, but it has so much information and support on how to work with the angels in your life. And so she said, I expected this book to be so anti-religion and satanic, but this book was actually wonderful. This book helped me to feel so good about myself. That was the comment, and have a renewed sense of self-esteem. Who would think an angel book? But that's really what my work has evolved to, is I want to help people transform their lives from the inside out and be in alignment to their divine self and the divine itself. So she said, it turned out to be the best book I've read. Oops. I've read It turned out to be the best book I've read this year. I was pleasantly surprised how I feel I belonged with the angels, because they made me aware of my needs, how I feel about myself, and what is important to me. I would really recommend this book to anyone because there is something that everyone can get out of it. It also explains how angels are in the Bible and how they can fit into our lives. I'm a little scared to get the cards, but I may someday. I just learned a way to renew my self-esteem, which was working like a really grimy machine for so long.
Oh,
So, after I read that, and then of course, all these other people started to comment because, the book has been out there for some time. And then their comments were like, you never know how you're going to touch somebody through the work that you love to do, the passion that you love to share. And that's why I said, Joe and I go way back. And she's like, I'm so grateful that you still come and share. And I said, if my prayer to God is, how may I serve for the highest and greatest good of all and myself, you don't want to leave yourself out of it, and I get asked, then, who's to say that even if there's just one person that gets what they need, then I've responded to that prayer, right? And God has responded back to me. So but I have to say it warms your heart, because I always tell people, you'll never know. I truly believe that we'll never know until we take that step over to the other side, all that we've done that's beautiful and all that we've done that was not so beautiful, but I don't believe that we could ever have that awareness of even in the grocery store, listening to someone, how that may have transformed something for them.
I think it's just totally amazing, and I thought I got what you were saying before, but I get what you're saying now because I've experienced it, and I think, just talking about how things manifest and trust and being in that spot, and I want to just kind of, go rally around the term divine birthright. Can you explain that to everybody?
I'll do the best I can because it's always evolving, right?
It is. It is.
In this moment, what I understand about being in alignment to your divine birthright is think about a baby being born into this world.
Mhm.
You know, why are we so attracted and feel in awe and wonder and grace when we hold a baby that's, just come into this world? Well, I feel our divine birthright is our pure innocence, our pure potential and divine birthright to be happy, to be joyful, to live in the knowing of what love is. I feel like that is our birthplace, our home before we come into this physical body to experience the physical plane and to be in the human experience of duality. That ultimately, and I think, I've realized now I'm going to be 62 next month, and I realize as age comes in its grace that it feels like you go around that circle of life, and I feel like ultimately we're meant to return to that pure birthright and come home to ourselves, right? So that girl in the review said she found her own sense of self-esteem, worth, and that, to me, that is like grace, that an angel book would bring that to her. But I feel like that's everyone's divine birthright, that we somehow through conditioning, we drop into forgetfulness of who we really are and what our potential is and what our divine birthright is, and that pure innocence, beauty, grace, unconditional love of the baby that we were born into, that we lose. It almost gets veiled by the conditions of life, by the experiences, by society, culture, religion, our birth family. There's no blame. I never say to anyone there's no blame. It's all in divine order.
Mhm.
But we're, right now, my purpose, I have, I started a year-long program last year called Awaken My True Self. And I really feel like I'm here to wake up myself to my own divine birthright, but I'm also here to help other people wake up and remember who they really, really are. Because when we do, we realize that we are grace. We are one with the divine. We are one with everything, everyone around us. And when we wake up to that, life becomes, I don't know if we ever really understand all that happens in life, but we realize we have a choice in it, right? Where when we're unconscious and we're blinded by life experiences, we forget we have a choice, but we do have a choice,
Mhm.
right? We have a
Right.
choice how we're going to respond to life. That's our biggest choice. And so sometimes calling on the angels, the divine, our soul, our higher guidance, our higher self, or the energy of love, it sparks the remembrance for us to choose again, right? Or for, we were talking about before everybody came on, to believe that
Mhm.
grace is possible, to believe that love does conquer fear and, the bad that goes on.
Love,
So
trust
yeah,
is it just there is a higher purpose for everything, and there's always somebody, if you want to use that term, out there looking out for you always.
Yeah. Yeah. And to know that and to start to really believe it, like the girl that was mentioned in the review, it changes. I
Yes.
mean, when my guardian angel came to me, it changed the trajectory of my life.
Yeah.
It changed my life. When Mother Mary came to me, changed my life. When my kids came to me, changed my life. So yeah, it just I only I only hope, and it feels, even though there's so much that we don't want to see in the world, I do feel like there's a big awakening that's happening, but there's an equalizer in that awakening that has to occur.
So, blunt question. Who or what is the divine?
To me, the divine is the return to one source, one love. Some people feel comfortable with the word God, one love. Like, one of the cards in my oracle deck that I created is the highest card in the deck is show me all that love is. And
Oh,
I believe that that's what the divine is. It's pure love. And but we are the divine, costumed in this vehicle, in this personality. So to me, when you really return to the divine within you, you start to realize that everything is connected to that, right? So to me, it's pure connection. It's, the words that come to me is grace,
yeah.
love, divine order, connection, support, guidance, healing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
You speak about the divine family of many.
Oh.
Can you go into that a little bit?
I didn't get that from anywhere. That came from my writing, my connection. So to me, divine, because I've never been religious. I'm not a religious person. I know religion has been important in time, but to me, it all creates more boundaries and walls. So for me, when I think of my divine family of many, I don't feel religion. I feel like our loved ones from spirit are part of our divine family of many. Angels, gods, spirit guides, Buddha. Um,
Mm,
that's why through time, and that's where my teachings lies. When people take my 8-week angel messenger class, I ask them to open up to a different divine helper, and try to step beyond religion, because some people get so comfortable with Mary and Jesus and you
mhm.
know that. And to me, I took those walls down years ago, and so I could, I ended up open up to the nature angels, which are the fairies and the divas. And so to me, over time, I realized I have a divine family of many, not only
I see.
in spirit, but here on earth as well. Because I feel like the divine family of many is our earth journeyers, right?
Right, right,
So when I call in for myself or in community, the divine family of many, it opens it up for people to experience all that love is, which I don't even know what that is.
right,
It's so beyond what I could probably imagine,
right, right. Isn't everything
right? So I
beyond?
don't like excluding, right? That's not who I am to exclude.
Right,
So
right.
Sam said, what's the difference between being religious and being spiritual?
Excellent question.
Yeah, and I don't know if I have, Joe, you can help with the answer, but in my personal experience, religion, and I think we do some people do need religion, or need religion at times in your life, but religion is one pathway to source, to God, to oneness. And there's many different pathways. That's what opening up to Mary. I was raised Jewish, so I went on a Catholic pilgrimage to Medjugorje, and when I was there, I experienced everything that a true Catholic experiences, but I was told this is just one pathway and there's many pathways. So since then, like, I've read the Upanishads, I'm reading the Bhagavad Gita right now, I'm reading Letters to Christ. I like to, for me, spirituality is finding love in the midst of all of it. Spirituality is, for me, I feel like it opens up to your own unique pathway. That's what being spiritual means to me, that there's no one way, there's your unique pathway that you're on to, because it all goes to the same place in my mind.
Yeah. And when I think of religion, the word structured comes to mind. Whereas spirituality is, like you said, finding the essence in everything. You know, it's you open up to everything, and as you said, you know, this is the pathways all lead to the same point. I suppose it would be whatever you know, kind of floats with you better. You know, what resonates with you more than the other. Some they like the structure, you know, of religion and one path, and that's okay, that's good. And others, I'm more on the spiritual side, because I find that that motivating source of love and joy, you know, like you said, in nature, in other religions and people, you know. And I'm not one pathway. I'm multiple pathways, you know.
Yeah. And I do think, you know, I've seen and experienced that when people do have structure, that's more comfortable for them, and that's fine. So there's no good, right, bad, you know, there's just an openness. We're lucky we're in this human experience to choose, right?
Yeah.
Or in a culture that we can choose. There are some people that don't have those.
Yes. Can you talk about your class a little bit on Saturday? Fantastic.
So, you know, and it's so funny, because I was thinking of, obviously, I really don't think about it till the day before. And so today, when, you know, we were doing this interview, I'm like, what am I teaching? You know, but, you know, it's so different every time I come to it. But really, divine alignment is supporting whoever attends to come into that, instead of the horizontal alignment. To me, is when we get caught up in conditioning, in thoughts, in beliefs, in dogma, all that kind of thing. Divine alignment is when we align to our higher self, our soul, and the divine itself. And we go into oneness with it, and we attune to that. And when we attune to that, we step into surrender to divine. We step into allowing divine flow to unfold in our life. We step into the flow of our own unique sense of purpose or joy or passion. We align to peace. We align to, I need help, I need support, I need healing. So I don't know how you're going to show me or bring it to me, but I'm going to go into the divine alignment, because that's exactly what I heard when you were talking about the manifesting of your house and everything. The thing is that what I heard in you was you believed. And when we go into divine alignment, we start to believe. We have to, you know, when we go into divine alignment, that the universe is going to start collaborating with us. Our angels are going to start collaborating, because we're saying, yes, I want the help. I choose to receive the help, and I am ready to be open to receive. When that happens, we don't have to, our ego doesn't have to figure everything out. We're going to say, because what I heard from you is you believed that when you went to prayer, you said, show me, or I'm giving this to you. You believed, and therefore your belief was just as important as divine intervention. So, because divine alignment is not just saying, here, take care of me, do this for me. We have to go into divine alignment with ourselves. So if there's something blocking it, we have to take care of that. If there's something, if there's, like in the review that she said, she didn't have the self-esteem, well, we have to take care of that. You know, we will get help in it, but we have to play our part. So that's when we go into that waking up of our own divinity and then working in alignment to our divine family money. That's where miracles and grace happen and healing.
And that's what we're going to go over on Saturday, right?
Yeah. And I want it to flow into all aspects of people's life. So if they need of healing, then it flows into healing. If they're in need of a relationship alignment, yes, a career purpose alignment, whatever. So it has to do with aligning from this is where my teachings, the core of my teachings is, it goes from alignment from your higher self, your inner self, and then it will manifest on the outside.
Sorry, I was just muting somebody that just came in.
Okay.
I am really excited about that. As usual, anybody that does come to our coffee or teas does get a coupon. You just enter coffee or tea at the checkout registration. But that's only to those that are registered for this today. I know that we're almost out of time, but what I'd like to do is turn off the recording. And for those that are here, if there are any questions that you would like to ask Karen for the next few minutes or so, we have her, and then she's off. And we can do that. So just for those that are watching the recording, thank you for coming. And Karen, thank you so much for doing this interview. Really appreciate that.
I'm grateful to be here. So if anybody has any questions, go for it. Yeah.
So on that note, hi everybody, this is Jo Maldonado and Carolyn Wilson. We have a fantastic topic. Carolyn, first, welcome and thank you for doing this interview.
Thank you.
It was just, it was really funny because a while ago, Carolyn did just a little presentation to our group, the Gryphons Claw League of Extraordinarily Gifted. And it was so fabulous that I asked her if she wouldn't mind doing a class for the school. We're in some difficult times, but even if you're not in difficult times, anything can be a challenge. I think it's all a matter of perspective. So Carolyn, tell me a little bit of what your thoughts are about why it's so important and how you go about grounding and you've had some challenging things lately, I must say. So can you talk about that a little bit?
Absolutely. Mindset is so incredibly important. How you stay centered when stuff is coming at you could be a mild thing, like a comment somebody says, or it could be a major thing. I just had in the last week and a half a battery die. My bank account got hacked by Amazon Data Services in Virginia. Fell Saturday night, and then I had a car accident yesterday where someone was looking at her phone trying to get directions to her father's new house, and she careened right into me. So I as I see her careening into me, I scream out, "Are you kidding me?" And I veered off and managed to keep her from T-boning me. And then I'm like, oh my God, I'm in one piece. Thank you, God. Everybody is different, and I never push my beliefs on anyone. But like, I have to tell you, my sense of who I am based on my strong faith and my experiences throughout my lifetime, I've been delivered from a lot of stuff. And
Mhm.
I'm here to tell you, there is, as Karen Paolino says, a spiritual family of many.
Mhm.
You are always watched over and cared for. I completely agree. I'm very, very thankful. So, mindset's incredibly important. How you ground. If you pray, fantastic. I'm going to incorporate supplements, exercise, mantras. And there's also an archangel that I'm going to talk about who's really good for helping you to get through challenging situations, to help you with anxiety and depression. There's another archangel I'm going to talk about for when you feel like you're really stuck. So we're going to cover all of that next Saturday. I'm really looking forward to it. So I've added more to the presentation
Oh,
as
yeah.
more come up.
Yeah, well, it's as I was saying that the original presentation was only supposed to be, a few minutes or so, but it was so fantastic and it covered so much material that some that, so maybe I know about supplements and maybe I know about, some grounding practices, but so let's like put it all together, let's look at it as a whole, and constantly being challenged. I mean, I just find it remarkable on how you just kind of you plow through it. It's like you have a carjacking at one point too, or
um,
something? Wasn't there something?
Something close. I've had some, yeah, I've had some near crazy stuff happen.
Huh,
And my friends are like, "What is up with you?" I said, "Nothing's up with me. I know who walks with me, and I thank God every day for them."
yeah,
When I was growing up, my parents used to say to me, Creator didn't bring you into this world, nor did your father and I bring you into this world to be a wuss.
mhm.
And I'm trying to trigger anybody when I say this. There are no weak women in this family. And you just put on your big girl panties and you deal. Do I have my situational depression sometimes? Yeah, I'm not perfect. I have some days I don't even want to leave my house. I have some days where I just like to eat a bowl of pasta and watch movies. Whatever you have to do to get through it, you're not alone. Do what you need to do. Take care of yourself. This year has been a big year for me. This is my 4 year of get to it. But this month that we just had of October was a 5 month for me, which is change and surprise. And I am going to talk about a book um, about life paths
Mhm.
and life cycles. There's a book called Life Cycles that I'm going to talk about next Saturday. And it's really interesting to see what's coming up. And my dear friend Virginia uh, introduced me to this book. And we'll read it, we'll look at each other and go, oh my God, it's spot on to what we just went through. So now we read ahead, like, okay, good to know.
Um, you talk about knowing that you are not alone. How do you know that you're not alone?
I've always felt that I was surrounded, and I see light flashing out of the corners of my eyes. And I also feel like an angel wing up against my cheek. And I feel spirit hug me. And I felt angels hug me.
Nice.
And I've seen angels. The best time I ever saw them was when I was clearing a morgue. I was in a morgue for 4 hours clearing it of the souls because there was an issue where the construction workers would not go in there any longer because they were being watched. They felt very uncomfortable. A dear friend of mine asked me to do this because she said, every time I go and have a meeting in this building, it's like mass chaos. Nobody focuses. People act crazy in these meetings. So I said, okay, just don't tell anybody I'm going to do it. I'm going to go in after work. And I was there for 4 hours praying and clearing. And at the end of that 4 hours, and I have goosebumps, I saw all these wisps of angels coming down, and I saw all these balls of light of these souls that were in this building going up.
Hmm.
And I was with a friend of mine, and she looked at me, and I looked at her. We were like, wow, it was incredible. So that was a really lovely thing to experience, beyond humbling.
Yeah,
And
I can
oh,
imagine. Um,
yeah.
I have another question because you talked about reframing. What is reframing?
When something happens to me, or I see something happen to someone else, I always say to myself, this is not intended to hurt me. What am I supposed to learn from this situation? Sometimes spirit will say, it happened to you because you're going to teach about it. And I'm like, oh, okay. Or it's going to help somebody else, one of your other friends. So that's how I reframe things. I never think I'm a victim. I think of myself as a victor, and that's not to sound incredibly conceited. You
Yes.
have to know that the universe is for you, that creator is for you. And when you have that attitude, you're going to see things change so much for the best.
Mm. So, are we going to be discussing reframing then on your class, which is not this but next weekend?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I will definitely be mentioning that.
Okay. Oh, okay. Yep. Yep. Um, so about support methods there to help.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
Who are our support methods? How do we access support when we need it?
I always say that please help me is a prayer.
Ah,
Thank you is a prayer. I say to my holy guardian angel, I just say thank you so much. Today is the holy day for the saints and martyrs.
yes.
Tomorrow is the feast of the holy guardian angels, so I'm going to definitely be remembering them. And I have been today, and I will be tomorrow. I always thank my holy guardian angel, and I thank all of the 9 choirs of angels
Oh, yeah.
for everything that they do for the entire universe, for this earth, for this country, for the, whatever it is. I say thank you for what you do. Thank you that you exist. Thank you that you care so much about all of us. You want the best for us. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And as long as you say, please help me, they're there.
Mhm.
If you want to call upon a particular archangel, uh, I like to call them in 3 times because
Yeah.
that's when I feel the goosebumps and the chill bumps on my body. So, whatever it's just, to my holy guardian angel, I just don't know what to do. I'm so frustrated with my son or my daughter, whatever the situation is. Please show me the way. Please help me to figure out how to get through this, how to do this the right way, how to deal with this the right way. Just speak from your heart. They know what you're going to say before you even say it.
Mhm.
They know way before you ever even have a germ of a thought what you're going to say. They want to see what you're going to do. Everything is about free will with the angelic realm.
Mhm.
Your spiritual family of many is watching over you, yes, and you're going to be delivered from a lot of stuff, absolutely. But there are things that they cannot do for you without your free will. So by asking them to please intercede on your behalf or on the behalf of a loved one, they immediately go to work.
Mhm. I know that you have had many instances of validation,
Mhm.
just names, words, signs, street signs, cards, email, mail. I mean, can you just give everybody just a couple examples? Because I just like I get a text message from you, and even about the accident, yesterday, and the
Mhm.
word that you heard, and then boom, it happens.
Yeah.
Can you just share some of those wonderful experiences you've had?
I as I was driving yesterday to my boxing class, I was saying aloud, I was
Yes,
talking
she
to my
does box.
yes, this is to help me to stay grounded in difficult times. But I was talking to my holy guardian angel and just saying, please help me to do the right thing for my dad because I have stuff that I'm always concerned about. I want to sell his house. I want to bring in the right buyer, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm going down the road and I'm saying, I am safe and I matter and I'm going to get through this, et cetera, et cetera. And then the car careens around the corner and comes in. So when you talk to them regularly, you're creating that dialogue, you're establishing that relationship that they are so happy for and hungry for. Your angels love you and they want nothing more than to have a relationship with you.
Mhm.
And I have to say, Karen Paolino has been a spiritual teacher for me.
Yes.
I discovered her over 10 years ago, and her prayers and the confirmations I got through her made me go, "Oh my gosh, I have not been hallucinating." You know? So, I really credit her as one of my spiritual teachers.
Yeah, me too. Me too. She's
Yeah.
she's amazing. She's taught me so many things. So,
Yeah.
but I thought you heard a name before this.
Oh, yes. Well, let me tell you what happened when the tow truck arrived because the police department called for them to move both cars.
Mhm.
The number on the side of the truck was 4 sevens. 7 is a divine number.
Okay, okay. So not,
Mhm.
but 444 is too, isn't it?
It is. It is. Your angels are with you. 4 4 and a triple four is your angels. And I see 4 4 4 constantly every day. I also see 77, which is good work. Stay on this path. You're on the right path.
Okay.
But about 3 days ago, I was sitting outside. I was with my dogs, and I started meditating, and this name just floats on my third eye. Darius, Derrios. I'm like, Darius? Who is that? I don't know a Darius. Then it changes to Serios, Serrios. I'm like, okay, spirit, I don't know what you're trying to tell me, but I'm going to keep that, in the filing cabinet mentally. So then yesterday, when the girl hit me, her last name is Serros, Serros. And when I heard that, I was like, "Hey." And I also had the feeling that something weird was going to happen yesterday, and I should have honored my intuition and stayed home. But you know what? It's all a learning experience. And I just reframed it as thank God I'm still here. And something good is going to come out of this.
Absolutely. Somebody asked, and I was going to ask you this too about 1111. What does that mean?
I always see 1111 as a portal. And whenever you see that, and I often see that, I want you to say something that's a positive affirmation.
Okay.
Everything is working out for me. Everything is working out for my highest and best. I love Louise Hay. Everything is working out for me. All is well. All will be well. Anything that is a really good mantra for you, you should say at that time for that full minute of time 111, 1111. Say those affirmations, and you're going to start to see some good stuff.
More numbers, 999.
999 is the end of a chapter.
Interesting.
Get to work on your life purpose.
Huh. Okay.
Mhm.
How do you know all this stuff? I'm like,
I actually have to carry 2 angel books. I have Doreen Virtue's original angel book, and I have Kyle Gray's angel book.
I,
And I have all my friends will be in the car, and I'll be driving, and I'll say, "Hey, can you look up that number?" They're like, "I'm already on it because you got me
oh,
noticing."
it's so programmed, right?
Yeah, it's so funny. So they'll whip out the books and read it aloud. And I said, that's not just a message for me, that's a message for you as well. There are no coincidences.
Yeah, yeah.
So.
I have a question. Will there be a meditation or some kind of format similar to that on your class?
If you would like me to do something like that, I absolutely can. One of the things I do every day, and once again, I'm not pushing my beliefs on anyone, okay?
Right.
I say the Our Father prayer.
Mhm,
I say the Hail Mary prayer 3 times, and I pray to Saint Michael the Archangel.
mhm, mhm.
And I find that every time I do that, and there are 3 different prayers I say to Saint Michael, but every time I say those prayers, whew, yeah, I feel very connected.
Mhm.
It's like I know they're always with me, but I want to honor them and just thank them and show respect. Uh, I'm telling you right now, religion has screwed up more people throughout history than I could
We'll
possibly
sit-
ever.
we'll talk about that, but
Yeah,
that's
spirituality is where it's at. So you have to find what works for you, but please know that you are never alone. No
yes.
matter what is going on in your life, you are never, ever alone. And there's always a way through things. I always say onward, upward, and I'm going through this or around it, whatever way. I am not letting this beat me. You have to have that attitude. So, yesterday I walked into Enterprise Rent a Car and I said, "Hi, do you have any Sherman tanks?" Oh my gosh.
But you got one.
I sure did. They happened to have a Jeep Gladiator, so it's a fun car. Yeah, so I'm channeling my inner Viking, Valkyrie, and Amazon. It's
There you go.
yeah.
So we're
So
gonna stop recording, but I would like everybody to hang on because after we stop recording, we're gonna open up our mics and our video cameras, and you can go ahead and ask Carolyn some questions. She has so many stories. You know, they're probably like, oh, that's just the way my life is. But she has so many stories, so many instances I know because she is a very dear friend of mine. And it amazes me how she gets confirmations, validations all the time. And I think, what you said, Carolyn, you touched upon this, that the more you interact with them, the greater the relationship, which is like in everyday life,
mhm,
the more you
mm,
interact with somebody, or nature, or the more, the stronger that relationship becomes
yeah.
with those entities. And I just like, I know that, but it just, I was really, really like sunk in with me when you said that. So thank you for repeating that. So on that note, for those that are listening to the recording, thank you for coming. Also, if you are on this coffee or tea, please note there is a coupon. Not just for Carolyn's class, but for any class if you use the code coffee or tea in your checkout on your registration. Carolyn, thank you from my heart for being present today. I really, really appreciate that.
Thank you so much, Joe. It's my honor and pleasure.